What's up, Chris?
Hey, how we doing, Dustin?
Doing great. Doing great.
Nice.
It is another Little Talks for Peak Performance podcast. And I couldn't be more excited to be on screen with you, my co-host. And we're going to talk a little bit about some current events stuff here today. But before we get there, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. Just living the dream. How about you?
Doing okay. Doing okay. I was out of the office there for a couple of days last week, and little personal time. It's a lot of fun, but back at it and all that good stuff. I feel like you're getting ready to get the blues. Like we're just starting to see the end of golf season. And
I was just getting ready to mention that. I had one of the last golf leagues last night. So if I start to seem a little bit more depressed, because maybe tell me a funny joke.
well, I'll tell
Liven back up.
if I have a funny one, I'll tell it to you. But I gotta come up with a funny one. So yeah, no, that
Yeah.
there was a couple of good ones told last weekend, but I don't know that I can repeat those.
Yeah, it's always a little depressing once we start seeing daylight savings time coming around the corner. It means days are going to get shorter and a lot less daylight out there. So It is what it is.
I think this will resonate with you, though. I always tell myself, because, if you really get into holidays and if people have favorite holidays, I've always said Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday. It might be because I like to eat, but it's also because you get together with family and you get to see a lot of people that you don't see on the regular. So I always tell myself, as it starts to get colder, there's some really positive things that are on the horizon. So
I'll give you that. The weather this time of year is perfect. We're able to open up our windows a little bit. We got football on the weekends, so one season's ending and another one's beginning. So glass is always half full over here, but looking forward to it.
I know you got littles, so you just enjoy that while you can, because we are dividing and conquering today. I've got to drive an hour and a half to a cross country meet for an 8th grader, and Carrie, my wife, is going to stay home and go to the soccer game. So, and your hard work's paying off. But
yeah, I will say my 5-year-old, she's a smart one. She realized that she can stay up later if she says, "Daddy, can I watch the Chiefs game with you?" I can't help but say absolutely. So my wife came home from work the other night, and we're just sitting on the couch, probably an hour past her bedtime, watching the game. I'll take those all day long.
Absolutely. And I remember those days. And now that their curfew is later or their bedtime's later, hey, you want to watch the Chiefs game with me or whatever? No, I'm good, Dad. Thanks. But they got this in their hand.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'll soak it up all I can.
That's right. That's right. Well, good stuff. Well, hey, I'm going to just share my screen here and try not to mess up the presentation, but want to dig into I call it the password protected side of Gradient's website, the portal. And we'll get a real quick look in that, but we're going to dig into Marketing Central. So I've kind of already figured it out here. So I'm not going to make all the clicks to get there. Most of you already know how to get there. If you aren't working with Gradient and you don't have access to the portal, it's a perfect opportunity to call myself or Chris at 800-407-4137 and have us do a demo. We'll show you everything about it, everything that's there. I've got a couple of favorite things there on the portal. One is Training Central. It's a lot like some of these podcasts that we do. I'm going to show you Marketing Central. Do you have a favorite spot there in the portal, Chris?
Just mainly that portal. Everybody's I'd say dashboard is arranged differently, but Marketing Central, I think that's one of the coolest things Gradient's built out in quite some time. Just to have everything there at your disposal, and as you show them, Dustin, you can sort by PowerPoints, mailers, call scripts, response forms. I mean, anything you could possibly want for content for marketing, we have it out here. And what's nice is, and you might correct me if I'm wrong, I'm making up this statistic, but probably 75% of the pieces in Marketing Central we can customize to any advisor, putting your logo on there, making it branded to where it looks like you.
How many pieces? What percentage?
I'm going to say 75%.
probably fair because there's things in there that you're not going to pass off to the client. They're resources for the advisor.
Correct.
Of the things that the advisor can use with the end client, probably 100% customizable or brandable to them specific person.
I would assume so. I would assume so. And obviously we got so much stuff out there. I will say, Dustin, and we always made this joke. It's kind of like drinking from a fire hose. Gradient's got one of our biggest strengths is we have a lot of stuff, but that kind of comes back with one of our biggest weaknesses is we have a lot of stuff. So, and it's all out there. It's kind of hard to really dive into where to go to start. And that's why, we've got so many different sales systems in here, and I think we're going to get into it. But one of the biggest ones that we've seen, enhanced planning is out there, but we also do a lot of current event marketing. And that's kind of what we wanted to spend some time on today.
Absolutely. So I've got an example pulled up here. Hopefully you can see it there. And it is essentially the tax cut window is closing, and it's a marketing system. And that's essentially the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that President Trump put through in legislation. I don't know when it
2016.
Well, he was elected in 16
or 2017.
So it was either 17 or 18 or 19. I can't remember what year it was, but it was one of those years he was in office, and those expire December 31st of 2025. So we got a little bit of time here, but I think everybody would agree that, well, everybody's going to agree that if it expires, taxes are going up because it was a tax cut for almost everybody. Now, I think over time with the spending and where the debt is and stuff like that, I think you would agree with me that taxes are going to do what in the future?
That's what I'd say. General consensus is I bet good money they're not going down. That's for sure.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Unless we get our spending in check with the government, it's going to be hard to have taxes go down and all the entitlements. So we have an entire system here on essentially the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and the fact that it's expiring. And so, we've got all these various pieces here where you can do blast emails. You can have a script, like a 10-minute script for a podcast. We've got social media posts. We have a PowerPoint here. I'm not going to click on it because that might get a little cumbersome, but we have all of these resources, and we actually have individuals that are doing this as a lunch and learn, as a workshop, not really doing a full-on dinner seminar. So that's one example there of current marketing, like current day marketing systems. And then I think here's another one that I think you're pretty positive on and have had some good luck with some of our advisors on helping them market is our pundits, politicians, and parties. I'll let you speak on that.
And the main thing with this, and we try to keep it very high level, don't really get into politics much or especially take sides, but this just shows, and same with what the one you just shared there, Dustin, it just creates more, I'd say, bullet points or call to actions with the clients to say, hey, if you have this concern, if you're worried about what is going to happen after the election, this is some material we can help with and talk through. And so when we've seen is whenever we can use what's going on out there in, we'll just say the world, it tends to resonate very well with clients, prospects, because they want to be educated. We get, only a little piece of it from what you see out there on the news, but to really dive in and see how this is going to impact you is big. So obviously that the tax cuts going away, nobody, I can't say nobody, but I'd say 99% of people prefer not to pay extra money to Uncle Sam that they have to. And so being able to know how that's going to impact them, what kind of planning they need to be doing over the next 12 months, there's going to be a lot of questions you'll probably be getting is how is this going to impact me in our retirement? Right. So even if you're not a tax expert, we have Case Central that can help, but you don't have to be the tax expert to be dangerous. And so that's what we like about a lot of these different systems we're showing you is it's just everything is so top of the mind with everybody out there that it's easy to get the interaction engaged with these prospects.
Absolutely. Yep. And so I quit sharing the screen there, but wanted to give just a quick look into Marketing Central and some of the sales systems and all of the resources that are there. Um, I think we've probably been beating the same drum here for months and months and months. I think we were actually talking about it back in December as we kept getting, you know, like little warning shots from some of our carrier partners that were saying, "Hey, I think after the first year we might see some rates changing, things of that nature." And then, the the interest rates held on really, really strong. And then we were hearing, well, May they're going to have some major compression, and it really didn't happen until we had all of that volatility there. I think that was in July, and it really started to see at the beginning of August the compression in rates, and now we've seen rates change, two, if not three times for some carriers.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, we had a great run just with how high those rates were, but we're starting to come back down to earth now. It feels like, Dustin. We got emails right and left from carriers making rate changes. And I know we've said this before, but they're doing it quickly. Usually we get a week or 2 weeks heads up. On Monday, I got into my email, saw an email at the end of the day Monday from a carrier, said that they're changing their rates and business has to be in by the end of the next business day. So we didn't even get a full 24 hours on a rate decline or decrease. So
Yep.
that's just a kind of a plug to make sure you're reaching out. If you're not sure if somebody's making rate changes soon, you might call us just to make sure that nothing's changed in the last week, so to speak. But
Yep. And so here's the counterpoint to that is you said we're coming back down to earth. And I would say from where we were when you and I started in this industry to where we were last year, we were in the Milky Way, right?
oh yeah,
And now we're probably somewhere still in space in between the Milky Way and Earth, might be on Mars or Jupiter or something like that for rates. But the point of that to say is that rates are still really good. They're very, very attractive. It's still a great value proposition to the end client. And, I don't want anybody to get lost on them that it's going to be hard to sell something because we were at double digit caps and now we're in single digit caps here in September. So the whole thing and the biggest thing that we talk about is everybody, for the most part, not everybody, but most of independent advisors have access to the same set of products. There's some that work with us that, they have access to other products that other marketing organizations don't. But on the whole, if you're one of those people that's not working with us and you don't have access to some of those proprietary products, call us. But my point to that being is that what Chris and I want you to do is we want you to sell you. We want you to market you. You are the value add, the value proposition in the relationship in retirement planning. It's not the product, it's not a software, it's not necessarily a system, but it's the value proposition that you provide to your end consumer. And using Connects Me and Virtual Advisor and Generational Vault and all of those things, as our chairman Chuck Lucius always says, we're just the velvet behind the diamonds. You're the diamond, we're the velvet behind there assisting and making that client process better. So I feel like I've talked a lot on various topics here today. So any parting thoughts? We got a short one here today.
No, not that I can think of. I know it's kind of short and sweet sometimes for you, but I highly encourage, if you haven't spent much time in Marketing Central, go play around out there. There might be other topics that we didn't touch on today that you think, man, I've had clients ask me about this, kind of leading in with the tax cuts. That Roth IRA conversion program we have is a great segue into that. That seems like we've been doing a lot of those these last couple of years, is the Roth conversion. So yeah, I just encourage you to spend some time out there and see if there's anything you like. And then obviously, I know we mentioned it early, if there's a piece that you want us to get branded for you, call us and we can get that in the works.
Yep. So what I would say is you need to look clear down to Chris's left corner there on the screen, and there's a little peak button, and that is where you can subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. You get alerted every time you have the option to see all of our podcasts and videos when they're uploaded. I know, Chris, you've recorded some videos here yourself this year and sent them out. I've done a few of those myself, but we're actually loving this way of communicating, and we've had really good feedback from those that have been watching these. Go ahead.
And if there's a topic that anybody listening wants us to cover or ideas, don't hesitate to reach out, because there's probably other people that have that same question or want us to cover it as well. So if you think of something, let us know. We'd be happy to talk about anything industry related. Absolutely.
Well, very good on all of our advisors that work with us. We're at a breakneck pace again, and we truly thank you and appreciate you for all that you do, not only for us here at Gradient, but for yourselves, for all the families and all of the people that you help navigate through retirement. So with that, subscribe, and just overall be amazing. Have a great day.
See you guys.
The opinions herein may be from personal experience and may not necessarily be those of Gradient Financial Group, its employees, or affiliates. Any results, topics, or outcomes are for informational purposes only. Financial professional use only.